Hello and welcome back to Digital Assets Daily. Hoping you're having a great morning, afternoon, or evening in your corner of the world. All right, we're going to mix up the new with the old, back to new, to make a point to show you that it is all relative and related in this game of digital assets. All right, first piece of news, we're going to start off with the Middle Game Ventures raises $165 million in its early stage fintech fund. Middle Game Ventures has announced a new fund for early stage lead investments in startups from Europe and North America. Middle Game Ventures, or MGV, that is a fintech-focused investment company, announced on Monday that it had managed to raise assets for the new fund aimed at providing support to startups in Europe and North America. As per the announcement, MGV's venture fund reached its first close with the last target size attaining $165 million USD. The fund is going to enter into partnerships with both B2B and B2B2C startups, and of course it will invest in them. The main goal is to get the transformation of financial services from analog to digital and to change the focus from centralization to decentralization. Its area of activity expands in order to authorize technologies as are RegTech, digital identities, FinData, and other crypto-enabled infrastructure over banking, insurance, asset management, payment spheres. As they said from the company, the focus of Middle Game Ventures is placed on the support of innovations in the financial markets. Co-founder of MGV, Pascal Bouvier, shared his opinion. "We are pleased to have new capital from substantial investors to support great transformational businesses across Europe and the US with our highly focused fund. Our investors agree that specialist funds with experience working with entrepreneurs, incumbent financial institutions, and regulators are best placed to thrive in an environment characterized by financial and technological cross-currents and significant regulatory constraints. The Luxembourg Future Fund, LFF, and the European Investment Fund, the EIF, will act as the cornerstone investors in the new MGV fund. And S&P Global will be also involved in the work with the fund among other institutional participants. The fund will be ready to welcome any other investors interested to participate before the final close in 2020. Patrick Nichols, chairperson of the Luxembourg Future Fund Board of Directors, noted that they are happy about their work with Middle Game Ventures Fund. The Luxembourg Future Fund believes this commitment will help to strengthen the fintech industry in Europe and generate positive spillovers in Luxembourg. This is a strategic sector for Luxembourg for economic diversification, and we are delighted to contribute to its continuing development. The European Investment Fund, EIF, is part of the European Investment Bank Group, and it has a goal to help SMEs to develop by ensuring for them access to funds. Its CEO, Pierre-Luigi Gilbert, commented, "We are delighted to be supporting Middle Game Ventures as an anchor investor in its new fund. The EIF has a strong commitment to innovation in Europe, and we hope that this fund, with its focus on fintech entrepreneurs, will assist us in that goal." MGV Partners gave over $300 million in its initial stage USD. The list of the companies that decided to support the fund includes Ripple, Tandem Bank, Simplesurance, and others. Next piece of news, we have Binance acquired the WazirX, and the CEO address need for crypto and blockchain. I'm going to go lightly into this article as we've mentioned this previously, and if you follow us on Twitter, you've seen this on our page. The regulatory climate pertaining to cryptocurrencies in India remains uncertain, as the country has been awaiting the Supreme Court's judgment on the same. Amidst this ambiguity, Malta-based cryptocurrencies exchange Binance dived into the Indian crypto market, with its acquisition of Mumbai-based cryptocurrency exchange WazirX. This platform would enable users to buy and sell digital assets using Indian rupees, INR. Nishal Shetty, founder and CEO of WazirX, recently appeared in an interview and elaborated on this same. Shetty highlighted the pace at which the deal was executed both from Binance as well as WazirX's side. He pointed out that for the cryptocurrency ecosystem to grow, capital is not the only catalyst that is required. This growth would demand resources that Binance is providing to the Indian exchange. My apologies for that noise. WazirX's Shetty also disclosed that he had reached out to the CZ-led exchange. However, Binance got in touch with WazirX only this year. While previously Binance was focused on crypto to crypto, lately the exchange seems to be evidently focusing on global expansion, he added. Shetty also expanded on the current regulatory notion around cryptocurrencies in the country. He pointed out the fact that cryptocurrency ecosystems encounter regulatory issues in every country. However, India's Reserve Bank has restricted crypto-related businesses from using bank accounts, which led to WazirX rolling out a P2P mechanism. While the government remains neutral on cryptocurrencies, it seems to be bullish on blockchain technology, he added. Shetty added, as an ecosystem, our goal is to ensure that our government sees that blockchain without cryptocurrencies is not really a public domain at all. WazirX intends to make sure that the government views blockchain in combination rather than in isolation. Shetty suggested that it would take some time, adding that since the government is pro-technology and pro-innovation, chances of the government positively regulating cryptocurrencies are high. Further, he highlighted the fear that surrounds Indian-based projects venturing into crypto due to the lack of regulatory clarity, he said. If the government could come out in support of innovation and technology, we could see 10x the amount of work happening in India today in terms of crypto. Facebook's Libra doesn't go unacknowledged in any interview, and Shetty addressed the impact of Libra on India. With about 300 to 500 million unbanked citizens in India, users could get access to payment mediums faster, he said. The next piece of news we have let's see, what is the date on this? I believe this was a little older. I'm not finding the date. Oh, there it is, September 4th. Okay, the reason I'm bringing up something older, Ripple's set to benefit from Mastercard's acquisition of Nets. I'm going to go into this article a little bit as I lead up into the final articles for this video. I know, let's see who is saying this. Okay, there we go. I know the XRP community is focused on the impact of Facebook's Libra, which connecting to the last article, but this Mastercard deal could be even more important to Ripple's ecosystem. If nothing else, it's validation that real-time payments is clearly the coming wave. Mastercard Inc., the monetary company's company, goes to make the most of Nets to assist transfer its operations into the Sooner Funds Zone. The American multinational principally processes banks' funds between retailers and card issuers. Nets is a digital billing platform with prompt cost and clearing capabilities as nicely. My apologies, I'm having a disruption here on my end of the mic. Mastercard joins the faster payments race. This race to sooner funds processing has quickened. The Federal Reserve, as an illustration, is planning to construct a faster funds community for the states. The Mastercard acquisition will subsequently transfer it past playing cards processing and deeper into account-to-account exercise. Paul Stoddard, Mastercard's new payment platform's president, says of the Nets, by that, this is basically about the continuation of Mastercard's enlargement into being a multi-rail supplier. Stoddard says that the acquisition is a logical step after Mastercard's current buy of VocalLink. Johnson, maybe as a result of an NDA, left most crypto followers searching for a connection between the acquisition and Ripple. Nevertheless, Mastercard and Ripple do have an oblique connection. They have each invested in Ripple-powered SendFriend, a world remittance startup. Mastercard has additionally acquired Earthport, which we know runs on Ripple, as we've expressed on this channel before. An automatic clearinghouse and Ripple accomplice. Now with Nets on its aspect, Mastercard planned to increase Nets funds prowess past its Nordic main market. That's the lead up into the next of P27 momentum challenges for creating a pan-Nordic payment region. If you're on your screen, my apologies for this. I have mentioned before I don't always accept these cookies. While banks, businesses, and customers operate across the Nordics, infrastructure remains national. At NextGen Nordics, P27 Momentum Executive Advisor at Nordea, Johanna Liebeck Lilla, continues discussion on the pan-Nordic clearing system to be launched in early 2021 and reiterates that while the region has a long history of cooperation, the cross-border challenge has not been solved. We have P27 Momentum. Collaboration is crucial for cross-border payments. We'll go into this one lightly as we finish up this video. For those who follow faster payments initiatives across the globe, you may have come across the recent FIS report that indicates there are 54 countries with live real-time payment systems, including 20 countries across the Eurozone with SCT. Pardon me, give me a moment. Excuse me, I'm sorry. And a few more coming soon. We picked up this posting in Finextra, and it talks to the progress of a pan-Nordic initiative called P27, which is not only real-time, but cross-border. Each of the 4 Nordic countries already have real-time systems, but P27, which refers to the 27 million people who live in the region, is a new rail altogether. Finland uses the euro, but the other 3 countries have their own currencies. So it's a multi-currency platform which distinguishes it from SCT-INSD, the real-time system available to EU members but in the euro currency only. It also appears that Norway will not be part of the initial launch in early 2021, but will follow on afterwards. We are sure there are some other differences as well, but we'll leave that for another time. Why has the Nordic banking industry joined forces to make this a reality? Paula de Silva, chairperson of the executive board, P27 highlights that this bold pioneering initiative will power cross-border payments at a fraction of the cost, creating a new ecosystem for secure payments and transactions. P27 will enable exponential change. But new products are just one piece of the puzzle. The other, or main piece, I would argue, is people. People who are visionary, collaborative, and see a higher meaning and connection to everyday work, Da Silva explains. We continue to track faster payments and various member releases and other channels, including recently with respect to B2B uses in the U.S. market, where several new and upgraded rails have come to market in the past several years. As we have been saying for a while, the eventual nirvana would be real-time global payments, and something like P27 is a step in that direction. A couple of the messages include the need for collaboration as well as keeping up with the pace of change, where unprecedented advances are waiting around every corner. Getting 4 countries to work together is a huge leap, and we see this in Europe every day of the week. We need to really look at what you want as an end stage, because the world does not stand still. You can embrace what others have done recently, for example, with Request to Pay, which is paving the way for customer centricity. Taking the example of faster payments in the UK, Oaks says that while no one expected the iPhone to make such an impact, it arrived, and the same effect could be made with the likes of 5G and quantum computing. We really don't know what is going to hit us, what people are going to be doing on their devices, and where payments come in. So all of the new technology that is happening, all of the new cross-border connections that are coming on, all of the news that is coming out in regards to cross-border payments If you're an XRP holder, again, this is so much excitement. And I would say, and my suggestion, if you are an investor and you can afford to concentrate on the long term, I would basically say forget about the pricing. Maybe take a break from the news if it's stressing you out. Walk away, have it locked up on your cold storage, and come back in a few months and see how much impact all of this has built up for the price to value. This is not financial advice. It is for entertainment purposes only. We hope you're having a great night, and we will catch you in the next one.